Have you ever found yourself scrolling endlessly, wondering where your day went? That was me, trapped in the infinite scroll. So I decided to do something drastic, a 30-day social media detox. No Instagram, no TikTok, no X, no Facebook. Just me, my thoughts, and a whole lot of newfound time. I wanted to see if cutting out the noise could genuinely boost my productivity and honestly just make me feel better. Today, I'm taking you on that journey, sharing the raw, unfiltered truth of what happens when you unplug from the digital world. The results? They were not what I expected. The first few days were, let's be honest, rough. My thumb would twitch, instinctively reaching for an app that wasn't there anymore. It felt like I had phantom limb syndrome, but for social media, the silence was deafening. I felt this weird FOMO, this fear of missing out on... what, exactly? A meme? A friend's lunch photo? It was a real wake-up call, showing me just how deeply ingrained this habit was. I'd pick up my phone out of sheer boredom, stare at the home screen, and put it back down. It was a cycle of confusion and restlessness. I realized my brain was so used to constant, bite-sized dopamine hits that it didn't know how to function without them. It was uncomfortable, but it was also the first sign that this experiment was necessary. But then, around day 4 or 5, something started to shift. The constant urge to check my phone began to fade. Instead of reaching for it first thing in the morning, I found myself just lying in bed, thinking. My mornings became slower, more intentional. I started reading a book that had been gathering dust on my nightstand for months. I actually read a whole chapter before even getting out of bed. The mental fog that I didn't even realize was there started to lift. It was like my brain was rebooting, clearing out all the junk files. I had more mental space to focus on one thing at a time, instead of being pulled in a million different directions by notifications and updates. By the end of week 2, my productivity was through the roof. It was incredible. Projects that would normally take me days to finish were getting done in hours. My focus was laser sharp. Without the constant interruption of a notification or the temptation of a quick scroll, I could enter a state of deep work that felt almost superhuman. I started using that extra time to reconnect with old hobbies. I'd picked up my guitar again, something I hadn't seriously played in years. I went for long walks, just observing the world around me without feeling the need to document it. I was present. I wasn't just consuming content. I was creating my own experiences and memories. One of the biggest surprises was how my real-world social life improved. Instead of sending a quick DM, I started calling my friends. We had actual conversations, not just a back-and-forth exchange of emojis and memes. I met up with people for coffee, for dinner, for real. The quality of these interactions was so much richer. I was fully engaged, listening to what they were saying, not half distracted by a vibrating phone in my pocket. It made me realize that social media gives us the illusion of connection, but often at the expense of genuine, meaningful relationships. True connection happens face-to-face, not screen-to-screen. As the 30 days came to a close, I felt a sense of clarity I hadn't experienced in a long time. I felt calmer, more focused, and genuinely happier. The constant pressure to perform, to post the perfect picture, to have the wittiest comment, it was all gone. I was just living my life for me, not for an online audience. The biggest lesson I learned is that social media isn't inherently bad, but my relationship with it was unhealthy. It was a tool that had started to control me rather than the other way around. This detox was the reset button I desperately needed. So what's next? Am I going back? Yes, but with a completely new mindset. I've reinstalled a couple of apps, but I'm setting strict boundaries. I've turned off almost all notifications. I'm scheduling specific, short blocks of time to check them, instead of letting them consume my entire day. I'm being intentional about who I follow and the content I consume, curating a space that inspires and educates rather than drains me. This experiment wasn't about quitting social media forever. It was about reclaiming my time, my attention, and my mental well-being. It was about learning to be the master of my own technology. If you're feeling overwhelmed, distracted, or just a bit meh, I can't recommend a digital detox enough. You don't have to go for a full 30 days. Try a weekend, try one day. The point is to break the cycle and see how you feel. You might be surprised by how much time and mental energy you get back. It's a powerful way to reconnect with yourself and the world around you in a more meaningful way. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. I hope it's given you some food for thought. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, I'd be so grateful if you could give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried a digital detox and what your experience was like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.